care whatever you do. So, here's your fuse.
Right.
This is going to be your neutral. X1, X2 off your transformer. Power comes down. Power can't go through here because that's a switch in a sense. That's 432. So, this is controlled off of 432 CR, which is a control relay. There's 432 CR. Sheet 4, line 432.
Right.
Okay? It'll give you tell you where it's from. This right here.
That's the page, CR.
Yes.
Okay.
That's CR stands for control relay. SOL, that's a solenoid valve. That's the brake. So in order for this brake to release, 432 CR has to get energized to close that contact to get 110 volts to energize that solenoid.
Right.
Okay? So you come down here. Well, here's your handoff auto switch. So if it's in hand, it's going to have power and 206 CR relay pulls in. If it's an auto, it's going to be down here and something else is going to basically turn this on because it's an auto.
Right.
So it depends on what state it is. So they show you over here, and this ain't really good drawings to show you, but you got 311, 313, 301, and 332.
Yeah.
So you come over to sheet 3. Come over to 311 was the first one, right?
Yeah.
And that is 206 CR relay. Well, guess what? There's one of your contacts off of 206 CR relay. The next one was 313, so we come over to line 313. There's another 206 CR relay. 301. Come over to 301. There's another contact off of 206 CR relay. 332. Come over to 332. There's another relay.
Right.
Or a contact off of that relay. Okay? So all those are just basically different switches in different locations. So then, if you put this in hand, 206 CR relay comes in, which closes. If they were open contacts, it opens them or closes them.
Right.
This one will open. This one will close.
Right.
This one will close. This one will close.
Right. Yeah, I get that.
Okay? So, with all those closed, now you go to the next line. This is 300 PCC, blah, blah, blah. It's interlocks to the other doors. You've got to get into the other drawings. We won't do that. Here's another interlock from the other doors also. Basically, there's a little PLC in there.
Mm-hmm.
That little PLC basically tells it if this relay's closed, that means that door's closed and that door's closed. You can operate now.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if one of these doors is open, this is open, it won't energize this here.
Right.
So what they're probably looking for here is into the PLC part of it. They're probably looking, here's your inputs coming back into your input card. They're looking for interlocks for the telling it whether the door's open or closed.
Right.
So they're looking for an input coming back from there to basically say whether
Because
it's
it sends
open
like
or closed.
an impulse, a volt or whatever, and tells it, yeah, this is on.
Well, an input card takes, whether it's a 24 volt input card or a 110 volt input card, all it's doing is looking for that signal.
Right.
And then the PLC says, okay, we got 110 volts on slot, whatever, it might be slot 3, rack, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we got that input, we're good. Now we can fire an output and say, go ahead and open.
Right.
It's the PLC just takes that input and basically does something with it, and a lot of times it'll fire an output.
Okay.
So now this comes in, and this is basically 24 volts. So basically all you're doing right here is there's nothing. So as soon as you turn power on, you're going to get this powered up because there's no switches in here. It's going to go right to there. There's your hot, there's your neutral. So now you got your 24 volts.
All right.
So now we come back up here. Here's your 120 volts again. Okay? Here's 214 CR. So if you come over to 214 CR, here's 214 CR. Right?
Yeah.
So off of this relay, which is just like The one I showed you. See, this is 214 CR. You're going to use different contacts off of this relay.
Oh, here it goes right here. I got it right
Okay.
here. I drew it for you.
So, say 214 relay, you're going to use normally closed contact. So where are you going to land the wires?
8 and 5 or 4 and 1.
Okay. So let's say we're using this. This is going to be the first contact out of 214 control relay.
So we're landing on 1 and 4.
We'll go on 1 and 4.
That's what I was going to ask you next. How does that work in that aspect?
Okay. It's just some of these might have 8 poles. Some
Yeah.
of them are stackable, and you can fucking add a bunch of different contacts to them. This one just has 2 opens, 2 closed. Some of them might all be open. Some of them all might be closed.
Okay.
It all depends what you order.
So when I see normally closed, that means I land them here.
Yes.
Okay.
Everything on these drawings is showed in a de-energized state,
Okay.
meaning there's no power on it. So if there's no power on this one and this one is your closed.
Right.
If you energize the coil, your A1 and A2,
It'd be 1 and 3.
1 and 3, but that's going to be a normally open. It's going to close when it's energized.
Right.
Okay, so here we go. Here's tier 214C control relay again. So now we're going to turn around and we need a normally open contact.
So that's when we go to 1 and 3.
Nope. You've already used 1 and 4.
Oh, so we got to go to
8 and 5.
8 and 6.
8 and 6. Okay.
Why 8 and 6 instead of 8 and 5?
8 and 5 is closed.
You need it normally open.
You need an open one.
Yeah, because that's normally closed. That's why I put that little arrow so you know it's closed.
So 1 and 4 are normally closed. 8 and 5 are normally closed.
Yes.
Okay.
These are basically like your common between these two.
Oh, okay. So 1 and 8 are the common.
You don't want to use. You could, but you don't want to.
Right.
It's a bad habit to do, but I've seen it done. But it's not.
Yeah, I saw it
It's
done
not
too.
common practice to do. Even though this is the same hot coming in, this is basically 2021. It's still 2021 here. Coming out of the contact is going to be 2311 up here. Yes, you could turn around and go from here and put in 2321. You could do that. It's just not a good practice. You can jump this to make this another hot, but it's just not a good practice. Could you do it? Yes, and they do it.
Okay.
It's not saying you can't do it. It's not saying it's wrong or anything like
It's
that.
just bad practice.
It's just most manufacturers don't do it,
Okay.
and some do it.
Okay. And then 2 and 7 will be my line in and line out, or my hot and my neutral. So
Here's
this would be-
214. So 2142, 2202. So you're gonna have you got your A1 and your A2, right?
Yeah.
A1's your hot, A2's your neutral.
It doesn't matter really what you hook up. Usually they do A1 as your hot, but it all depends however you want to do it. But yes, that'll probably be 2142, and this one here will be 2022.
Oh, because that's that 14. That's that 14 right there, right?
This-
That's what I'm asking
This
next.
right here is this coil.
Yeah.
This coil is 214. We're
Oh.
calling this 214 CR.
Okay.
This is just a set of contacts off of 214 CR. This is just a set of contacts off of 214
Oh,
CR.
now it makes sense. So
You're
this right here
energizing-
is this.
This is a coil symbol.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what they use as a coil symbol.
Right. So these are different coils. Coil.
That's 206 CR. That's 207 CR.
Right.
And if you look, 206 is on line 206. If you look here, 207 is on 207. If you look at your wire numbers, 207, 2071, 2061, 2051. Come
Right.
down here, okay, they're going to start 214. Here's 214.1, 214.2. You come up here, your first wire coming in, 2021, you're on 231, there's your 231.1. Every time it basically changes a point, it's going to be called something different.
Right.
So if you get into There isn't one that's real complicated drawing wise. That's why I was looking for some yesterday. But there's nothing to it. And all this is a switch, and this is a switch.
Yeah.
These switches don't turn on until this switch gets turned on.
Okay.
This turns on, that turns both of those on at the same time. It's instantaneous.